Okay, we'll begin the meeting today. The City of Lawrence Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, our regular meeting a few days early, convening today here at the George Keller Public Assembly Room, Lawrence Governmental Center, July the 10th, 2023, 4:30 p.m. is when we convene today, and instead of our normal 5 o'clock time frame. Let the record reflect that we have a quorum to do business today for the city. I will call the meeting to order. We have meeting minutes of our regular meeting held on June 22nd, 2023. Are there any corrections to those minutes, deletions, omissions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Are there questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries 3-0, so the minutes are approved. We have no unfinished business before the board. I want the board to entertain a personnel matter for the City of Lawrence, and we'll let Mr. Dave Hoffman come to the podium and explain a little bit on this personnel matter.
Podium's kind of backwards here, so I'll just lean over this way. Yes, thank you for having me here before you this evening. The purpose of my presence here is to request of the Board of Works and Board of Public Works and Safety your approval for me to take a leave of absence from my position here with the city. It will be an unpaid leave of absence, not to exceed 365 days. And it has previously been approved by my direct supervisor, who in this case happens to be Steve Collier, the mayor.
Okay. We have questions on his leave of absence. He does have that in a letter before the board, and with that letter, Dave would like our board to approve his leave of absence. So may I have a motion for Dave Hoffman's leave of absence from the City of Lawrence?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Are there questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0, so that matter of an extended leave of absence is approved. So
Okay, thank you all very much.
thank you, Dave. Going now to item A on our new business agenda, approval of change order number 1 for 2022 resurfacing contract with Howard Companies in the amount of $27,612.07, bringing the contract total to $1,100,612.94. So that is a change order. Do we have Sri make comments?
I'll give a brief background on this. So this is a change order to the Community Crossing Grant project from last year, which just got completed in April of this year. So we had to do some extra patching. Usually it's typical for this kind of big resurfacing projects to have some overruns, because we don't know how much patching we have to do until we start milling the road. So we had to do a little bit more patching on the Chesapeake neighborhood. Just so to do it right. So this change order is mostly for that added patching we had to do. That's what this change order is for. The project has been completed, actually. So once the change order is approved, they can bill us for the remainder of the work, and we can close the project out.
Does the board have any questions on the change order? Hearing none, thank you, Sri, for those comments. I would entertain a motion for approval of change order number 1.
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries, so that change order is approved, Sri. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then we have item B, which is approval of Resolution 1, 2023, approving execution of Amendment Number 1 to Master Governmental Lease Agreement And I didn't know if there were going to be any comments on that.
Yeah, so I'll start off and then hand it over to Tyler. This deals with the master governmental lease agreement with Regions that you all approved last year. We are working on some paperwork because the purchases come through you, but as you know, everything else is kind of done after the execution. But there were some things that required amendment, and since some of the maximum aggregate amount would go up a little bit, we wanted to bring that in front of you guys. So sorry for the late placement on the agenda, but Tyler can explain a little bit more. It's just a short amendment, a few-page amendment to what you approved last year.
Yeah, so a couple of pieces. I actually have a breakdown of the equipment for you, so I'll pass that on in just a second, but a little bit of background. So we just kind of found out today we need to do this. So that original lease agreement, it was new in a sense that historically what we had was kind of an annual limit. That was like a revolving limit, and so we could just issue under that. But now the new structure is you approve an aggregate, so you had approved 2.3 million, and anytime, and that was for last year. So anytime moving forward, we found out that if we want to do basically the same issuance amount, you would have to actually bump the 2.3 to 4.6, and it keeps building. So we don't like that structure, so we're going to actually fix it in the next one. But for this instance, we have to just bump the maximum amount up with this amendment. So this is, I mean, it's kind of standard, but it's become a headache. Everything's within our debt service limits, so nothing too crazy, just a lot of paperwork in the final moment. So I do have the breakdown here, so I'll hand these out to you so you've got them.
Thank you. Sorry.
Does anybody have a question at this point on the, I guess it's really last year's format with a higher amount of money, kind of doubling it, it sounds like.
Well, in this instance, we're increasing, and I don't even think we're doing it the full 963,000 that we'll be issuing here. So essentially, last year, we were approved for 2.3. We only used, the other attorneys had the number, it was like $1 million something. So we had to bump the 2.3 to 2.8 to then cover this issuance. So then in September, we're going to have to do this one more time. But our goal is that in moving forward in '24, it goes back to the old style, which is a maximum limit not to exceed every year. And then when we bring you the equipment to approve, you're approving the schedules with it. And so it's much more flexible and just a lot less paperwork. So I guess I don't know, there's two different ways to do it, and we picked the one that requires a lot of paperwork.
So I've
about
looked
that.
over this, and we have special counsel at Barnes and Thornburg that helps me as well, that does these often, and he and I both looked over it today, and the amendments are really just the amount, 2.3 to 2.8, and then some of the dates that were 23 are moved back to 24, so everything you would expect with just a change in the amount.
Okay.
So these 6 items you'll bring to us for approval?
Well, other than the utility, everything else here has already been approved by the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I
I
was
think it's like the
referring to-
fire Tahoe and the,
Okay.
No, the salt truck that was removed, it won't be here till
that off.
24, so that'll be probably in the next few meetings, you'll see that one. But that would be under this lease, but
Okay.
won't be issued until 24. So hopefully we get the lease structure cleaned up and it's less paperwork by the time that ever comes in, so.
Any other questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve resolution number 1
Motion to approve.
by Mr. Clark? Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3-0, the motion is approved, and resolution number 1 is approved. Comments of administration? No? Yes, no? No?
Thank you for your
I have
service, Mr. Hoffman,
Yeah.
and we will miss you around.
Yeah. Still be our neighbor.
Yeah. Citizens' comments? None.
Not aware of any.
Motion to adjourn
Motion to
by
adjourn.
Mr. Clark, second.
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned 3-0. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Sri. See you tomorrow.